Hey y'all, Jeremy here, and I want to talk to you about the new Lightning Lane Multipass and what lanes I would select once it starts, which is just in a few days now. As most of y'all know, the Lightning Lane and Genie Plus has got a complete revamp, so let's talk about it real quick and what rides or attractions you should choose based on it. The new Lightning Lane program is starting up, and it will allow you to choose 3 attractions before your visit. If you're staying at a Disney World resort, you can do this up to a week before you arrive. If you're not staying at a Disney World resort, you can do it 3 days before you arrive. I typically spend a few minutes each day looking at wait times and analyzing the best times to ride certain attractions at Disney World. My wife and I recently did a 48-hour visit to Disney World and rode all of the main attractions in all 4 parks and then some in our short visit. As of right now, I would prioritize these attractions for my first 3 picks at each park. Animal Kingdom, you've got many things to choose from, but the way I would do it would be the 3 I would choose for Animal Kingdom would be Navi River, Kilimanjaro Safaris, and Expedition Everest. Now let me explain before you go crazy. The 2 attractions at Animal Kingdom that fill up the absolute fastest is the Avatar Flight of Passage and Navi River, which is right beside it. My recommendation is to arrive early. Don't buy Lightning Lanes for Animal Kingdom. You heard me right. Do not buy the multi-pass for Animal Kingdom if that's what you're doing that day. Arrive around 7 a.m. They typically open the park at 7:30, but at 7 they'll still let you in the gate, and you'll get to go about 100 yards up and sort of face these attractions. So you'll actually be in the park before then. So get there at 7. Go ahead and get lined up, get through the gates, and there will be a crowd there, but not a huge crowd, at least in our experiences. At 7:30, they'll do what they call the rope drop. In other words, they'll let you proceed into the park, further into the park to the attractions. Head to the Flight of Passage first without any Lightning Lane. Typically, in our experience, if you get there at 7 and are one of the first in line and all that, it'll be a 15-minute or less wait. Our last visit, it was literally just a walk-on. As soon as you get off of that, walk right over to Navi River. It shouldn't have more than a 30-minute wait. In our experience, unless it's a super busy day, it shouldn't have but about a 10 or 15-minute wait. One thing to remember is first thing in the morning, they sort of guess at the wait time. So if it says 45 minutes and you don't really see a line, it's probably not 45 minutes. They're just taking a guess at the wait. It was posted 30 minutes last time we were there. It was actually a 10-minute wait. So definitely don't 100% go by that. After you exit the Navi River ride, you have 2 choices. First, I would check out Kilimanjaro Safaris. Usually they don't open at 7:30. They're a little bit later. So if they're not open, go ahead and stand in that area, and when they open, you can be one of the first ones in line. If they are open and there's a huge line, we're going to bypass it and come back later in the afternoon. The reason that I would go there first is the unload and load procedure on this attraction. You're going through basically and seeing tons of animals on a safari. It takes a while to load and unload, so it can get backed up a little bit. Usually after it opens, about 30 minutes after it opens, it really backs up an hour or better. But in the afternoon, a lot of people park hop from Animal Kingdom, so if you can wait till after lunchtime, most of the time, the wait time will start dropping drastically. They also will close this attraction before the park closes, so don't wait too late. Like if it was 3 to 4 o'clock, I would be getting in line if you hadn't already rode this. If there's a line and you bypass it, go ahead and head over to Expedition Everest. Typically, the only waits I see at Expedition Everest are in the middle of the day. Early and late, there's no line. There's a 10-minute wait at most. There's also a single rider line that you can go through if you don't mind splitting up your group a little bit. And typically, the single rider line is a walk-on. The other attractions to think about other than these main 4 or shows, you should look at Festival of the Lion King. 110% recommend doing that. Dinosaur, which is going to be closing soon for a retheme. And the Birds in Flight show is very cool. So definitely check those out. If you get free time, check out Rafiki's Planet Watch. It's a cool little train ride out to the conservation station to see some animals up close. And even you can take an art class to draw your favorite Disney character. Now let's switch gears from Animal Kingdom to Hollywood Studios. I would definitely use Lightning Lane Multipass at Hollywood Studios. And the three I would book first would be Slinky Dog Dash. It is always the first one to get filled up. Rock and Roller Coaster, which has been not rethemed, which has been under refurbishment, just opened back up. And 3, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. At this park, I would arrive at around 8 a.m., go ahead and get in line at the entrance. More than likely, they're not going to let you in the gate before 8:30. But if you get there at 8, you'll be at the front of the line. I would go straight to Rise of the Resistance. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, I knew nothing about Star Wars, and I love this ride. Go straight to Rise of the Resistance without buying the individual Lightning Lane. Jump on it. You shouldn't have more than a 20-minute wait first thing. Then you got your Lightning Lanes lined up. Then if you have time between Lightning Lanes or need some filler rides, you can do things like Alien Swirling Saucers, which in the middle of the day can get a little bit backed up. Toy Story Mania, cool ride. It can, if you have an extra Lightning Lane, I would recommend using it there. Star Tours is cool. But after you start using those 3 Lightning Lanes, it will allow you to book more. So I would prioritize Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Toy Story Mania, and definitely Tower of Terror after those first 3. Don't forget the cool stage shows at Hollywood Studios, like Beauty and the Beast live on stage, the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, and for heaven's sake, do not miss Fantasmic at nighttime. It is one of my favorite shows in Walt Disney World. I could watch it 1,000 times. Let's move on to Epcot. I would actually arrive to Epcot at the back gate with the Skyliner. Even if you're not staying at a Skyliner resort, there's ways to do this. What I did recently was I actually took a bus to Hollywood Studios, jumped on the Skyliner, went to Epcot, and you can actually enter through the back of the park. And there'll still be a line, but not near as big of a line as the front. And also, it's going to put you near Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which is the first ride you should be riding. Typically around 8, they'll let you through the gates and into the park a few hundred yards into World Showcase area. Go ahead and get as close to Remy's Ratatouille Adventure as you can. No Lightning Lane for this. And that's going to be your first ride. And then after, or hopefully you've already got your lanes booked, but the 3 picks for Epcot, first picks would be Soarin', Frozen Ever After. If you don't think you can get there early, definitely book Remy's because it'll be backed up. Test Track is down for refurbishment, so that's not in the play right now. You've got a lot of filler attractions, like you can go see Figment, or you can go check out the aquarium, or you can walk around World Showcase and all that stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy, let's talk about that. If you can, I would buy the individual Lightning Lane for Guardians. If not, I'm going to change up my plan a little bit. I would go to Guardians first. I would book Remy's, I would book Soarin', and I would book Frozen Ever After, and I would be in line at Guardians as fast as possible, and you should have a 20 to 30 minute wait, and then you got your other Lightning Lanes. If you can afford and buy the individual Lightning Lane, I would go ahead and get it for Guardians because it really can get backed up. And there's also the virtual queue for it, which you're going to want to get in like at 7 a.m. and hopefully be one of the first ones on there. So, mixed filler rides in between these Lightning Lanes like Nemo and Friends, Journey into Imagination, the 3 Caballeros and the Mexico Pavilion. Spaceship Earth is you got to do that, right? It's at Epcot, the golf ball as everybody calls it. Usually early and late, there's no wait for Spaceship Earth. In the middle of the day, it can back up a little bit, so just keep that in mind. Basically, at every park during the middle of the day is when it's the busiest as far as waiting on rides. So if you can get there early or stay late, you're gonna make it work. I would check out World Showcase during the middle of the day, eat some snacks, have some lunch, things like that. Check out the aquarium over at Nemo and Friends. There's tons of restaurants at Epcot you can check out. And now let's move on to Magic Kingdom. It's probably the most complicated because it's what everybody thinks about when they hear Walt Disney World. It's got the most rides, the most people. So my 3 picks for Lightning Lanes for that would be Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan's Flight, and Big Thunder Mountain. I would arrive 30-45 minutes before resort guests are allowed to enter, and this can vary a little bit what time that is. They'll allow you to go ahead and get on Main Street. I would head directly to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train when the rope drops. Should be able to get on there with a 20-minute wait or less without buying the individual Lightning Lane. I would get a queue at 7 a.m. for Tron and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Hopefully they can get you in during the day without having to buy that individual Lightning Lane. Second, after I got off the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, would be Space Mountain. It can vary a lot with Space Mountain. Sometimes it's got a low wait. Most of the time it's 30 minutes or more. Middle of the day it can back up to 2 hours. So that would be my second ride. The Mine Train's going to back up first, so go there first. If you have the option to begin booking additional lanes after you use the first 3, I would select probably Haunted Mansion, Winnie the Pooh, Journey of the Little Mermaid. Even though most of these, if you can get there early or late, again, there will be no wait. Our last visit, we hit Haunted Mansion as one of our first attractions, no wait. And then right after the fireworks, we went back, no wait again. And remember, if Haunted Mansion says 13-minute wait, that's no wait. That's just their way of saying no wait for Haunted Mansion and for Tower of Terror, instead of it saying like 5 minutes. A lot of rides like Pirates of the Caribbean and Small World and all that only have waits in the middle of the day. Typically 5-10 minutes you can walk right on. So keep that in mind. Middle of the day at Magic Kingdom, you're going to snack, hit Main Street, maybe go out to Tom Sawyer's Island, something like that. Check out the Tiki Room, those sorts of things. From like lunchtime till about 3 is going to be prime time when everything's backed up, but those won't have any waits. Don't forget about things, Carousel of Progress, Hall of Presidents, all that sort of stuff if it's hot. So, the last 2 hours of Magic Kingdom being open, the wait times will drastically go down because people are going to get dinner and all sorts of stuff. So you can make a mad dash, which is what I normally do, and hit a lot of these things that have a wait during the day. Try to plan your route in Magic Kingdom to where you're not zipping back and forth all around the park. You kind of want to make a cohesive circle if possible to where you're not wasting a ton of steps. Anyway, that's my picks for the new Lightning Lane Multipass system. Of course, rides can break down and things can change, or maybe you don't get the Lightning Lane you're needing. So always check the My Disney Experience app for updates throughout the day. And also, if you don't mind, subscribe to this channel because I'm going to start putting out some content on what I would do if this ride's down, or this is the way I would do the Lightning Lanes. And as the Lightning Lane system, the new one, becomes more and more popular, we'll have more information on how it works. And once we get to the park and test it out for ourselves, we'll have even more additional information. Anyway, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate you. Hopefully this helped. And if it's your first visit to Magic Kingdom, congratulations. Don't be overwhelmed like I was on my first visit. Just sit back and have fun. Watch a ton of videos about it before you go. It's a huge place. So have fun. Enjoy yourself, your family, your spouse, whoever you're going with. Thanks for watching and have a magical day.